Hey, what's up, Jarhead? Ego, Ian. What I'm gonna do here. There we go. Don't get old. The body beat down. Hope things are going my way. Yeah. Nothing's ever that bad. I saw your elevated deadlift workout. That was pretty good, brother. I enjoyed that video. Rustin, what's going on? My mods are so overprotective. Sam won his IFBB Pro card. Sam who? Sam Stolik? I don't really follow those guys. That's cool though. How old is he? Is he even 20 yet? I feel bad though when I watch your videos because it's like I feel like you have to give these huge opening productions as to why you're doing certain things to like mitigate the stupid comments you get from people that. I was watching your squat video where you were doing box squats with 450 pounds, which is a lot of weight for a box squat. Incidentally, that's more than I usually use. And you had a bunch of comments that are like, that doesn't count. I'm like, count for what? Exercise? Like, he's training. Like, the weights go up, the weights go down. We get stronger. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what fucking standards do these people on the internet hold people that are lifting in their garage to? Like, as if you're trying to compete in the Olympics or something. It's like, guys, you ever like going to like a commercial gym and you see the one guy doing like incline bench and he's like maybe not touching his chest all the way and he's kind of pumping him out. You ever just walk up to him and be like, none of those reps counted, bitch. like, no, you don't. I don't understand people. They expect you to be Eddie Hall and break world record. But dude, even Eddie Hall did training. You ever watch his training videos? Like when they're doing like he does a whole bunch of exercises that wouldn't be considered competition standard. And nobody ever like went up to him and be like, I don't know, those reps counted. Like, he'd probably look at you like, what the fuck is this retard? And it's usually guys that can't lift like a fraction of the weight. I think what it is, so that's what they see is if we're doing something like, say, like blocks that shorten the range of motion or in some way advantage a certain range of the movement, band squats would be a good example. So it's going to be lighter at the bottom and heavier at the top. You know, you get used to handling heavy weight because there's no weight reduction at the top of the squat, so you still have to walk the heavy weight out, and then as you go down, the bands take a little bit of the weight off. So you overload it like 200 pounds, so that way when you're in the hole, it's closer to the amount of weight you need to be at in order to, and then as you go higher, the weight goes up. But people just see 7 plates on the bar and think, oh, this guy's just trying to show that he can lift that much. Like, no, if you ask him why he's doing that, he'll explain it to you. Like, I mean, if that's all you did was those lifts, then yeah, okay, maybe. Your and Cephas are the only strong athletes I watch. You don't watch the body beatdown, Ian? You could learn a lot from him. You know, there's something to be said, like the older guys, right, that are still lifting. I always like ask, why are you doing things the way you are? Because a lot of them have a lot of mileage on their body, and they're either mitigating an injury, recovering from one, or trying to prevent one from happening. One of those three. And it's like, okay, well, ask them, like, what are you doing that for? What did that solve, and what does that prevent? And is it worth incorporating into my own program? Maybe you get a little longevity out of it. What's up, Jay? When I was in a commercial gym and did shrugs with 600 pounds one time, a guy reported me to the manager for possibly destroying the equipment. Well, so, yeah, actually, I'm guilty of this. So I didn't know any better. And I watched this guy do rack pulls, and I thought, man, I'm going to do that. And I put like 700 pounds on the bar. It was some crazy amount of weight. And I only lifted like an inch. Like the rack was like almost at my lockout point. It was total ego lifting, and I just want to see if I could do it. And then I'm slamming the bar. I'm like bouncing it off the safeties. And I didn't realize this, but I was literally bending the bar. So I came in the next day, and the gym owner told me that I owed him $600. And then he showed me on the video where I was destroying his equipment. And I'm like, oh, shit. My bad. But hey, if it's your shit though, I actually keep I have an old barbell that's bent up, just for doing stupid shit like T-bar rows with like as many plates as you can put on it. Dumb ego lifts. Why? Why do you do that? Because it's fun. What do you care? I did have to pay. But then I started training with powerlifters, and okay. So before I started powerlifting, I didn't know what a deadlift bar was. I didn't even know what a deadlift was. I've seen the guys doing them, but to me it looked like a stupid exercise. To be honest with you, it was like the guy's just picking weights up and putting them down. It doesn't look. What does that do? Well, okay, you don't know. You don't know. Luckily, they were like really crappy, like cap barbells or whatever. They weren't super expensive. They were like $200, and I had to pay for two of them. And then when I was training at the powerlifting gym, we had that was the other thing, is like we get comments online where a guy'd be squatting 500 or 600 pounds, and someone would be like, "Those weights are fake. That bar's not even bending." And I'm like, "Bro, he's using a Texas squat bar. It's 55 millimeters, and it won't even begin to bend until you've got 700 or 800 pounds on it." You know what I mean? So I learned a lot about barbells. No, I don't. Honestly, I don't know what I paid. Like, that was so many years ago, but it was a lot of money at the time. It was more than I would have thought a barbell at a gym would cost. Let's put it that way. Was it a couple $100? I don't remember. That was back in like 2010. I was training at the Express Fitness in Henderson, and they got put out of business by Planet Fitness. Go figure. Christina Remington. Hey, my wife's in the house. What's up, Josh? How you doing, brother? Josh, show us how proper trolls operate. Say something funny. My bar is super old and used. It hardly bends with 600 on it. No, I mean, yeah, I don't know what kind of bar you have, but my Titan Power Bar is a 30 millimeter. It was only $200, and it won't bend it. You guys see, that's what I was squatting with yesterday. It did it. I had what, 555 on it, and the reason I bought that bar is so it doesn't bend. Because here's the thing: it's like if you guys are gonna get into like heavy squatting, and most of the guys in the chat can attest to this, when you are in the eccentric of the squat, and you've got a shitty gym bar, that thing can bounce. And so when you hit the hole and you rebound out of it, you can, I mean, if you don't know that's going to happen, you could really, really hurt yourself, because it could throw you out of the groove, and nothing good can happen. I mean, there's some people think that it's better to train with disadvantaged equipment, so that on game day, when you have nice solid, like real stable weights. Everything's calibrated. The bar doesn't bend. It's got good knurling on it. It sits on the back. So the cool thing about the 55 millimeter Texas bar that they use to squat with is that even just sitting across the delts, it's an advantage because of how big it is. It's just way more comfortable. And you could, like, what hurts in the gym using a, whatever it is, 28 millimeter is if that little extra thickness takes the pain away, and it's just like you're way more stable. Plus the bar's longer, so the weight balance. It's you ever seen guys doing tightrope walking, and they have those super long poles so that they can balance themselves? Think of it like that. When you got 600 plus pounds on a squat bar, and you're using a 7-foot bar instead of a 6 or a 6.5 foot, that extra width, it makes it way easier to get stable. So just all the little advantages that the proper equipment gives you really, really adds up. And I think that's why I really respect the USAPL, because they use an Ohio power bar for all 3 lifts, and you either can use it or you can't. So there's something to be said for just having that one piece of equipment, because you don't get quite the advantage that like say a Texas or a Kabuki deadlift bar gives you. But that being said, I've deadlifted with an Ohio power bar, and they've got really good knurling, and it's pretty. I can get reasonably close, to what I can do with a Texas bar. And used to set off the lunk alarm on purpose, and a fat Karen worked as the manager. Shit, that's funny. Get out. The Planet Fitness we have here in Vegas is, I guess they're mostly people that just don't care about the gym. They're like getting off work and they only want to pay $10 because they're just going to go in there and run on a treadmill for 20, 30 minutes. So I haven't run into too much of an issue in Vegas with that stuff, but I've watched a lot of the videos across the U.S. What's a lunk alarm and how do you set it off? Ian, you don't have to worry. You won't set it off. You're good to go. So the lunk alarm, well, look it up. Go to Google and type it into Google and check it out. It's a Planet Fitness function where if you make any noise or you drop a weight or you do anything bro-y in a gym, the alarm will go off. So it's alerting everybody that there's an actual lifter in the gym, and you don't want to hurt any of the other people's feelings. You don't want to make them feel bad because it's a safe space, which it baffles me because steel sharpens steel, and you got to get to the reason I trained at Iron Addicts is because I was the worst lifter in the place. But yes, can I help you? What's up?
Nothing much.
You said don't mind you, but I'm minding you.
Can I get spray paint on the wall?
What?
We're painting on the wall as we paint. Can I get spray paint?
No, go away.
Okay.
You're asking me to take out the spray paint. Think about this.
I can get one.
Where?
Up there, I guess.
Those are marking paints. What are you trying to do with it?
We're painting.
Oh, I guess. I mean, if you want to use it, but that's the same stuff that Yeah, I guess you can use that. I mean, I don't know how permanent it's going to be.
I mean, I can always put it over. You go do your thing.
I am doing my thing. You're interrupting me.
Am I?
You want pink?
Sure.
So here, check it out.
Yeah.
So this is marking paint, so you have to spray it upside down. It won't work this way. It's got to be, you can probably angle it. I don't know how waterproof that is.
You can noise mark it waterproof. Thanks, Dad.
We're building a chicken coop. And, oh good, my moderator's spamming me. That's awesome. I'm going to put Ian on a timeout. I just put my mod on a timeout. All right, what the hell was I doing? Oh yeah. Oh, so anyway, yeah, the girl there, we're building a chicken coop, so I put another 30-foot of run on there, and they're painting flowers on the back wall. All right. Ian's minute should be up. Oh, do you know, Mike? Oh, so you don't have any context. Yeah, it probably would be kind of a weird thing to see a 10-year-old just grabbing spray paint out of dad's garage, but I'm a carpenter by trade and a union steel worker. My daughter's got chops, man. She knows how to use the skill saw. She could use the scroll saw. She could use the drills. She could use, not the roto hammer. That's too powerful. But she could pretty much use all the tools Dad's use. She could use the peanut grinder. She's out here working. She wrenches with me. The other day I was doing I was drilling with paddle bits, just hitting some recesses. So when I put some screws in, they just sink a little better. And then I could put like plugs on them, and that way you could cover the screw holes. And then when you sand it, you don't see them. It's a little technique that carpenters use. She goes to the garage and gets me safety glasses. Brings me safety glasses and says, "Here, Dad, you need to wear these." I'm like, "Okay." I taught the kid pretty well, and she's I know you're joking, Ian. I was too. Well, I was mostly joking. Oh yeah, everybody asks me if I smoke weed when I wear this. No, you're good. Yeah, and my daughter trains with me too, but she would rather paint. So, for anybody that hasn't been on the stream before, I've had major back surgery and I've had my knee rebuilt. So before I do anything athletic, I have a little bit of a stretching routine that I go through. And it's basically mostly to open the hips up. And first it starts out with ankle mobility. So what I'm doing is I'm putting all my weight over my foot. And I'm trying to keep my foot as flat as possible. And the goal is to have the heel touch the butt. Kind of like an Olympic lifter. This is something I just work at a little bit every single day. And I still can't quite go ass to grass, but I'm getting better. If you look at Olympic lifters, their ability to get really deep into the squat is mostly dependent on their ability to flex their ankles. So I hold most of these for like 10 to 30 seconds, depending on what I'm trying to do. And so after I do that, I'll come back and I'm going to stretch the hamstrings out. Point the toes up, try to get the leg as straight as possible. And you can adjust that by moving forward or backwards. The deeper you go this way, the more of a stretch it is, the more you come up. Go to where it's uncomfortable but not painful, and then try to hold it for 10 or 15 seconds. And then exhale and get a little deeper into it. And just try to do this a little bit every day. Now I'm going to come out, I'm going to push my elbow out, and I'm going to open up my hip. I'm going to ride the side of my foot. You can rotate your ankle in and out. I'm going to kind of move the femur into the socket a little bit. Now, there's one organ in our bodies that connects everything, and that's the fascia. Think of it as a cellophane wrapper around all of our muscles, and it's basically what keeps our shape. And the concept of stretching that, because it is not a flexible material, I don't know if you guys have ever cooked pork ribs. You got to rip that piece of skin off the bottom of it. That's the fascia, and it's like a piece of plastic almost. So the concept is opposites. So right hand, left foot. So we want to stretch and turn. Yeah. These I want to push my hips through, so I want to push my hips down and out. So this is out, this is down. You can rotate. Ideally, you want to get this, you want to be able to do the splits eventually. Now I'm going to bring my leg out. And you can use blocks to assist you. And now we do the other leg. Again, knees over toes. You can push, you use your body and push down on your leg. Again, try to keep your foot flat. Knee as far over the toes you can go. Feet as flat as they'll stay. They'll start lifting up a little. That's going to be your limiting factor. Now, this is the knee I had rebuilt. Oh, yeah, that feels tender. So again, I'm pushing out this way. I'm pushing my hips through this way. And rest. All right, so now everything feels like it's wanting to spread out. You ever like went up to a door jam and pressed your arms as hard as you can for like 30 seconds? And then when you come out and you rest, your arms want to lift up. You ever done that trick? Well, that's what the legs feel like. So now we gotta go the opposite direction. We'll rest a minute here and then we'll do that. I can't imagine having that much range of motion. Well, that's something I work at like almost every day, and if I don't keep up with it, it goes quick. But the cool thing is it comes back pretty fast too. So as long as you reasonably keep up with it, and for most things that we're doing, if you good quality of life athleticism for guys our age, can you get into an ass to grass squat? Can you bend over and touch your toes? Like, you don't need to have extreme ranges of motion. Obviously, I train Muay Thai, so it's helpful to be able to move that far. But, you know, for most things, you don't have to get crazy with it. As a matter of fact, I'll show you a few movements that older guys can do that will get you most of the way there. It's cool here without all them Indian dudes in the weird comments. I actually have a rather large Indian audience. I was looking at my demographics, and it's like, I don't know, 60% American, like 20% Indian. I get people from the UK, a lot of people from the Netherlands, oddly enough. Who else? A couple of weird demographics, well, not weird demographics, but surprising. Should I start with bench press first or incline? Let's see here. Well, what are you trying to accomplish? I will say L Chick H, or should I just call you Tom? What are you trying to accomplish, Tom? I think that if I do that, what you just did, I think everything in my body would just break. Well, yeah, so it probably would, Jordan, but you start with where you're at and work from there. Does that make sense? Sargen X, your rake is shaky. I posted, oh, yeah, you're talking about the post I made in my community where people will comment on things like my rack is kind of old and it shakes a little when there's heavy weight on it. Like, nobody says anything about the fact that a 220-pound-year-old, 50-year-old man just did 3 times his body weight for a set. Nothing. But he's like, oh, your rack's unsafe. It's like my hair could be on fire and they probably they probably point out like your garage is kind of dirty. My fucking face is melting. They never comment on the comment in the video. They always point out some obscure weird shit that nobody cares about. Like, I'm not aware of my own equipment. I've been training with it for 10 plus years now. Please show me your abs, sir. What are you gonna pay me for, Ron? I read your comment wrong. What the fuck is this incest shit? Shiva Moraine. Let me see here. I didn't see a comment. I'm doing the same, but I'm more flexible. I don't see a comment from him, so I don't know. Shiva Moraine. I have live chat on, so I should see every comment, but I'm not seeing the comment you guys are talking about. I read your comment wrong. Spamming. Yeah, I'm 50 years old. Yeah, I feel my upper pecs after starting with bench first better and muscle connection. Otherwise, I feel my front delts if I start with incline first. No, it's true. So that's a mostly deltoid movement. If you really want to feel your pectoral muscles, go for range of motion. Stretch them out. What is that going to look like? That's going to look like using a camber barbell or dumbbells, something that really stretches the pecs out. And then try some partials in that stretched position. Then you'll start feeling just your pecs working. And it's not about incline or decline. It's about how much length you can get out of your muscles. The muscles, you get to stretch them. The grow the better. Yeah. Started taking tests 5 months ago and up to 167 to 202. What's your goal? When I started tests, I was 46 years old. Within a month, maybe 2 months, I put on 8 pounds of lean muscle mass. It was a couple of months. I'm not sure the time. I didn't really track it, but I just noticed like one day I was like, man, I'm looking pretty chiseled. So I went in and got what are those DEX scans? Who is spamming? See, my wife wants to see my abs, so that for her, I'll do it for free. You guys want to see? So it's like, guys will be like, you sit down and kind of relax and your gut hangs out a little. Like, unless do you sit down like all sucked up? Yeah. Like, so I'll get comments like, oh, your belly looks big. It's like, fucking sitting. Like, I'm relaxed. Better posture. How's that? Thanks for the advice. Love the Arnold voice. Do it now. Want to hit 200 and lean down to 185. So this is just me, because you just started taking tests 5 months ago. Rather than turning yourself into a science project, I'm assuming you're not competing as a bodybuilder, just stay at your weight and focus on getting stronger. The weight will take care of itself. You could cut a few hundred calories maybe, trim a few things, get rid of the mayonnaise on the sandwiches, take the creamer away from the coffee, stop drinking soda, switch the diet, whatever. You're at a good weight. Stay there, get as strong as you can, and just let your body compose itself. You've introduced exogenous hormones to your system, and you've only been on for 5 months. Get yourself to a nice equilibrium where you are comfortable. You can just get as strong as you can. For context, I'm 5'9", I'm 220 pounds. So, I mean, just like you're at a good weight, 200 pounds, don't cut. Just work out, just train. Just my advice. I don't know. Because you're just like, what are we doing here? You're yo-yoing. You're up to 200, you want to get down to 185. You know, we're going to talk 20 pounds and you're going back and forth. And if all things being equal, you don't know your body on testosterone yet. And here's the thing, if you're taking doctor prescribed TRT, you're only at an amount that's going to get you to what your doctor thinks you need to be a normal male. And you're going to plateau. That's going to be your new normal. You were here, now you're here. Once you get up to where your body's here, you're going to have to train just like a natural would. And this is the thing. So what do people do once they get on test? They either get as strong as they possibly can on the doctor prescribed amount, or they take the easy road and they just keep adding more and more drugs. Problem with that is all the problems that come with that. When if you're on doctor prescribed TRT, just train like you're a natural, stay at your weight, get as strong as you can, let the body compose itself, and if you want to trim a little bit, just start counting your calories. But I wouldn't do anything different. And it's going to be a lot more enjoyable. Dude, diets suck. Muscle for beginners, yeah. I always at a peak of 170 and wanted to get bigger. Yeah. How do you feel at 200 though? Do you feel like what's your? Do you happen to know your BMI or your fat percentage? Hey y'all, cats in the house. My sister, you're coming to visit us soon. I really appreciate your advice, brother. You know your stuff. This is all based on personal experience, so it's anecdotal. It worked for me. It might not work for everybody, but it's just have lived that. Where you're trying to like bulk up and get as big, and then you realize I look like the fucking Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Now I'm gonna diet back down again. I lose all my strength, and it's like, ugh, why do that to yourself? So why? Are you gonna be on stage? You're gonna win money? Now at least I could say I power lift, so I have that goal. So what I did is, rather than like a lot of power lifters, what they'll do is they'll gain weight and then cut to their weight class, or they'll just keep going up in weight classes. And you see those perma bulkers, they just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and get it just for the sake of putting more weight on the bar. Or you wind up having to do like insane water cuts before competition. Well, over the period of 10 years, I kind of, after doing 2 or 3 of those, and it's so hard on the body, I just said, you know what, screw it. I'm going to pick a weight, stay with it, get really dialed in. And now I've been at 220 for the better part of 10 years. I don't have to do anything. If I want to put a little bit of weight on, I'll eat some candy bars or just enjoy a little ice cream for dessert. If I want to lose a little weight, I cut a couple hundred calories. It's like not a big deal. I have myself tuned to where I can gain or lose weight super easy. People are jumping on gear before they put time in under the weights. Not saying anyone here, just in general. Yeah, no, you're 100% right. Don't do that to yourself. People often will say to me, hey, if you get off everything, you're going to lose it all. Why? I'll look like I did before I went on, which was 220-pound powerlifter with low testosterone. I won't be as jacked. I'll probably lose a little like definition in the shoulders. I'll probably gain a little fat. But I was strong before I was on gear. Like, I trained for how long before I decided to make that decision? What is the point? Guys that don't hone a physique before they hop on exogenous hormones, they'll lose everything. like they'll go back to where they were before they started. If you got those gains without training, without building that, you're going to lose that all. The general rule is anything that you gain naturally, you're going to keep most of if you stop using exogenous hormones. Yeah, I mean, everybody's going to lose something, even me. Like, let's see, when I was 45, I was 220, and I had roughly a 1,500-pound total in the gym. I think like a 1480, 90 in competition. And then a couple years later, I'm at a 1,700-pound gym total. So that's 300-pound difference. It's not unreasonable to expect I would probably lose a couple 100 pounds on my total, but I would still be a 1,500-pound power lifter, at the age of whatever. I've never used MK677. I don't like SARMs. I don't think there's enough research on them. I truly believe I'm one of the very few who have never done a single PED test, anything. I just found out my great nephew's been on, and he's only 22. Ugh. Don't you want to, Uncle, this is what I say. God, when you're young, you're supposed to do dumb stuff. Yeah, kids got to live their lives. They're going to learn the hard way. I try to tell them what I went through. And I would say, like my son, I said, my son, there's probably a good chance you might be an alcoholic like your dad. Am I telling you not to party? No. I'm just telling you to be aware of the signs. But, think about the dumb shit we did when we were young. So the only thing I would tell him is like, look, I love you. I'm always here for you. I'll never judge you, good or bad. I'm your guy. Here's the deal. If you're doing damage to yourself that is irreparable, permanent changes, something to consider. You can't go back. Once a cucumber becomes a pickle, you can't become a cucumber again. It's not possible. I heard the gainers got to learn from the pros on how to permanently bulk. Ghrelin. I was doing a little research on that hormone. I don't know much about that. My wife might. She's the biologist. If I keep my stuff after SARMs, I work in a slaughterhouse, lifting, go home. Yeah, dude, I'm not saying good or bad. Like, I'm obviously not natural, so no judgment for me whatsoever. I'm just saying SARMs scare me because look, as much as I like to play a total gym bro, I actually do a lot of research. I have a background in chemistry. I'm about 30 credits away from my chemical engineering degree. My wife is a microbiology major at the university, UNLV. Both of us are into science. She's more of the biology side of things, but I'm a real heavy into chemistry. So we read research papers, and I've poured through mountains and mountains of research before I even considered going on testosterone, and that was doctor prescribed at the time. So even then, I would never ever claim to be an expert. I could just say that I was satisfied with the level of knowledge that I was able to aggregate. Now, when it came to SARMs, we were looking at the size of the studies, how long they were for, and who the test groups were, and it was mostly untrained athletes. It's hard to get people that train seriously into athletic studies for obvious reasons. Like, who's going to take time like 6 months to a year away from training to be a guinea pig to be in a control group? That's what I mean. Like, if you look at the studies and how they're performed, it's really hard to get serious athletes to participate in those studies. So there isn't a lot of good information in a lot of these studies. But when it comes to SARMs in particular, they don't really even have much in the way of human trials. A lot of it is, there's a lot of hypothetical and anecdotal evidence. And of course, they do work. It's not that the science doesn't prove that they don't do what they say they're going to do, because you can see obvious results. And a lot of my friends that use them claim they're the best. The problem is they don't have long-term studies, so you don't know what the downstream side effects are going to be. And that's what scares me. I mean, we're already taking a lot of risks as it is, but at least I can point to studies and say, well, this is the long-term side effects that most people can expect, and this is what I can do to mitigate them. If it's a blood pressure issue, I can take blood thinners, I can do cardio. There's like a ton of stuff you can do to mitigate that. If it's chemicals that the liver is breaking the stuff down into, it's aromatizing into, I could take certain things to help mitigate that. If it's kidney issues, like there's things you can do to buffer the side effects, and you can, in my opinion, take certain cycles reasonably safely and without hugely damaging long-term side effects. But with SARMs, I'm not gonna know. There's no research. You don't even know what it's doing to you. So that's really just the point I'm trying to make. Is like, for me, it's like, if I can't find science on it, I'm like, I don't know. Because like, what was the big thing? So for the longest time, they were saying SARMs don't shut your natural testosterone down, and that was proven absolutely to be false. Not only was it proven to be false, it was proven to be more damaging than actual anabolic steroids. No, I don't mind sharing, Dunny. It's because we're actually having a serious discussion. I take a testosterone mix similar to Sustanon and a DHB. What is the chemical name for DHB? DHB dihydroboldenone. And there's a couple studies. One of them says it's extremely liver toxic, and there's a couple other studies that say it's like one of the safest things you can do. So you got to really kind of like dig through and read all the good and the bad. If you bring it up on Google, the first thing that comes up is a more plates, more dates article. And he's got some really good information. But yeah, so, essentially the point is like, I did a lot of research. And then, of course, I got the opinions of an actual doctor. Like, we go through a clinic. It's called Helix HRT. And believe it or not, you can get prescriptions of Anavar, Anadrol, what's the one they use for weight loss, for cutting? There's a whole bunch of them. I'm not on any of those, but you can get prescriptions for it. So you can do everything through a doctor. The only downside is like there's, depending on the laws wherever you're living, and then of course it's prohibitively expensive, but you're paying for peace of mind. You're getting your blood work done every 6 weeks. If you have, wow, my phone just went into update. That would have sucked. Where did you get that shirt? I got this, let's see here. I've tried MK677, got huge and heart pain, very first pill, terrible shit. Crab. Yeah, I see. I don't know. I've never used it. Rad 140. Now we do use peptides. I'm a huge fan of peptides, like BBC 157 and TV 500. Even doing TRT, you're taking years off your life. No, I don't agree with that. I really don't. And like I was saying, we dug through the science and talking to doctors. Here's the thing. If you're doing more than your doctor prescribed, you're on a cycle. But if you are doing what your doctor prescribed, I think it can add not only quality years to your life, but it can add longevity. Because if you look at the possible chronic outcomes of low testosterone and the implications of the chronic diseases that men can get from not having testosterone in their body, and then you counterbalance with the long-term possible side effects of adding hormones to replace the ones that your body is no longer producing, And it's really hard to say that taking testosterone is going to shorten your life. It's like I don't see that. The science doesn't reflect that. If anything, it's a question mark. Now we can all agree that blasting steroids is going to kill you. Period. But what's reasonably safe? You know, how long is a cycle for? Like, I like to use Peyton Manning as an example. Broke his neck in the off season. What does he do? Human growth hormone, some form of anabolics, and probably some peptides. He got some therapy, maybe even some stem cells. I don't know. Whatever regimen he was on, it was not legal in the NFL, and there was a big controversy about it. But he did it in his off season, and he was technically retired at that point. So he gets fixed, comes back, plays one more year, wins the Super Bowl. That's how the man makes his money. That is technically doing a cycle. What he did was a cycle of steroids. Is that bad? Is it bad that he fixed his neck and got healthy again? You know, so it's like, you got to be really careful when you say this is bad, that's going to shorten your life, don't do that. It's like, no, you got to really, we're trying to elevate the conversation and, you know, really talk about what a good use application could be. Because the thing is like, if you're a man over the age of 40, 50, 60, and you're suffering from low testosterone and you're going through depression and you lost your libido and life sucks and you just want to off yourself, you're telling me taking a little bit of testosterone to get you back into a normal physical range of like a 20 or 30-year-old man, and it's going to improve the quality of your life in every single metric, is a bad thing. I'd have to disagree. But then I'm not saying what I'm doing is healthy either. See, I'm trying to win some records. I'm willing to die to get these national records. Ian, Millie, stop harassing me. Keep your opinions to yourself. You're being negative. My man, long time no talk, missing the lives. Jay, what's up? Oh yeah, no, you're right. You're good. I appreciate your concern, Crab. And I like that you ask rather than just like, I get a lot of people that come on and they're just sanctimonious. They're like, you're bad, you're evil, you're gonna hurt. You don't even know what I'm taking. You don't know a thing about me. You don't know how long I've been training. You don't know how long I've been using for. And people are like, I don't know what they think. They think I'm like a blasting tren or something. Like everybody that's got muscles is on trenbolone. I mean, come on, dude. And then when I tell them I'm on like 200 milligrams of test and 100 milligrams of DHB, they're like, you're lying. Really? Am I? You know, I was 100% natural to the age of 45, and I was 220 pounds as a natty. Now I'm 220 pounds as a person that's on hormone replacement therapy and DHB, which is a badass compound. I love it. Is it possible that because I was a natural almost to the age of 46 years old, that maybe I'm a little bit of a hyper responder and you really don't need a whole lot to get some good results? Whereas somebody that's been on and off doing cycles their entire adult life might have to do a ton to get the similar results. I don't know. But that's something to consider. And 173, 235, you did that. Wow. See, Jay, if you're being honest, Jay, you would be a good case for just being on testosterone replacement therapy. All right, now, damn it, I started talking too long. What time is it? All right, it's 5:55. I need to actually do some training. So we were doing our stretching. I'm gonna get back into it here. I do like having serious conversations about this stuff. Rocky. Why we welcome discord and discussion from all people, but blatant arguing with the mods isn't cool. Who's arguing? As you get older, like TRT's forever if you want to lift, because how could you bounce back to anything? So, is that worth it as well? Well, kind of think of like, as you get older, what other medications are people on for long term? Blood pressure, like what, cholesterol, nerve pain. It's like libido. So, like, what's the downside? You know, you like say you got a guy that's fat, overweight, and depressed, and he's taking a bunch of blood pressure and blood thinners, and drinking beer or whatever. I don't know. Or you take a little test a couple times a month, and you're training till you're what, 60, 70? I don't know. Like, what's the downside? Like, I mean, think about it. Like, what is the alternative? Is that better? Or should we just grow old and die? Just give up. You should just give up. You had your chance. You know what I mean? Like, should I be stretching after running as well? After, yes. I like to warm up and do what's called dynamic stretching before I work out, and then after I work out, I like to do a little more extreme stretching. Now, yesterday I did heavy squats. I did 555 for triples. Well, I start 545, 550, 555. Set to 3. So naturally, I wake up in the morning, my legs are just screaming at me. Hello. So now I'm doing my stretching routine. I usually do it the day after a squatting or heavy deadlifting. I like the dude's shorts. That's why I'm here. Hell yeah. These are what you will fight in if you join Muay Thai. These are official. That's what you buy. Just like powerlifters, you wear those cute little singlets. Aren't they adorable? Or if you're into wrestling, you wear that little Borat suit. What kind of American are you? I am the American kind of American. My temper was through the roof, and I'm really bad when I used to do test 400. That's a big reason why I stopped. Well, 400's a lot, dude. Like, who put you on that protocol? No doctor did. I guarantee you, there's no way that a doctor prescribed you more than 200. 200's on the high end. Serious question. Does taking tests actually make your balls shrink? Also, how does it affect reproduction? Well, I don't know if they did or not, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm 50 years old and I don't want any more kids, so I hope it affects reproduction. No, a lot of guys, when they go on tests, sweetheart, what's going on?
I just want to say.
Well, you've been buzzing. You got the door open. Like, what's up? Talk to me.
I mean.
It's a little distracting.
I'm sorry. I wanted to come out and I don't know, see what you were doing.
Yeah, give me like. Let me finish my routine up and then I'll bring you up.
Can I steal an ice cream?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, did you want to train with me?
Yeah.
Give me a few minutes. Let me finish up my routine and then I'll holler at you.
Okay.
Which is better than what you're doing.
Yep.
What kind of ice cream are you looking for?
I really, really, really want the
Hurry up. Yes, Dad's snapping at you because it's kind of I'm live streaming. That's disrespectful.
I wanted the caramel.
What caramel?
The caramel cones.
You know how rude this is?
Sorry.
No, you're not sorry. You know why you're not sorry? It's because you don't do anything different. You know what I mean? Like, sorry only works if you change the behavior. You do not. I love her to death. Don't get me wrong. But when she wants her way, she does not take no for an answer. Yeah. Trying to be like you. Last 2 months, I got on a strict diet and gym routine. Chainsaw. If you want to be like me, I would take a nice 10 solid years and really get addicted to crystal meth and drink a lot. You know, really soak yourself in whiskey. And then after you've lost everything and you're homeless, go to rehab and then start training. No, I don't know. Be like me. Dude, I've just been consistently training and I've maintained a body weight for 10 years. The best thing you could do is just like focus on self-improvement, man. Get in a solid routine. Train with me. That's what I want to hear. Yeah, dude, does it make you sterile? I hope so. I can't wait to feel better. Ember Baphomet. You just started a TRT, right? Is there a reason why we call her Della Destroyer? There is a reason, yeah. Is that your wife in the comments? Kat is my sister. Christina is my wife. I swung my body weight between 50 pounds. Yeah, how did you lose that weight, though? Lift and peanut butter. Hey, man, you know what? When I was on the cheap and I couldn't afford anything, I would go to the dollar store and I'd get canned tuna, chicken, peanut butter, different kinds of pastas, you know, whatever. You got it prescribed yesterday. Give yourself 2-3 weeks, and then, you know, it's not going to hit you like drugs. You know, you got to take it and be like, wow. But it's subtle. One day you'll wake up and just be like, man, I feel good. I'm ready to get after it. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. I can't pinpoint the moment I felt better, but it was just like one day I just realized, like, I'm ready to go. There's no brand of TRT. It's a testosterone replacement therapy, hormone replacement therapy. If you think about what that is, that's implying that you're going through a doctor, getting your blood work done, and he's going to look at both the condition that you're in now, your organs, your liver, your blood, everything, to get a baseline. And then they're going to look at your hormones, you know, testosterone, what's the estrogen, that kind of thing. And they're going to look at all your deficiencies and prescribe you something, and it might not necessarily be testosterone. For a lot of younger men, it might be something like HGH, or, you know, there's like protocols that they can give people that will kickstart natural testosterone production. So your doctor is going to decide what the best course of action is for you to get to where you want to be. You can tell them, hey, I want to be a professional bodybuilder, or I want to be a powerlifter. You know, he might put you on a more sports regimen. Like if you go to a general practitioner and get it through them versus a male clinic, you know, you can make the argument that a lot of these clinics are just peddling drugs, but whatever the case is, they're still, you know, following some kind of guidelines, and you're getting your blood work done regularly, and you're monitoring your health markers. So regardless, you're still going to be a lot safer than if you go to Hector on the job site because he just went to Mexico last week. You know, you could do that too. Would you recommend using it at a young age or older? I won't recommend anything. I recommend you go to a doctor and get your blood work done. If you suffer from hypogonadism and you have low testosterone, doctor's going to set you right. I couldn't in good conscience recommend something that's so life-changing and any potential side effects are permanent and irreparable. So what kind of responsibility would that put on my shoulders? Was if I said, hey, go take drugs, dude, works for me. You know what I mean? No, I'll tell you how it worked for me. I'll tell you all the results I've had, and I would say it's definitely worth investigating especially if you're having the issues I was having when I decided to make the switch, for sure. Give me 30 seconds. I gotta use the bathroom real quick. All right. Sorry about that. General practitioner, the hardest to get TRT. Yeah. Well, because they don't want to take liability for anything. You ever wonder why your doctor, family practitioner, never tells you to work out? You get any kind of injury, they're like, don't go to the gym. It's because of liability. If you go to the gym and get hurt yourself, he could be potentially liable. So it's really hard to get a general practitioner to take risks. It's an insurance issue. MS, I got to be honest with you. You asked the same stupid questions in my last live stream, and I already answered them. I'm just looking to have a strong body. About what Gen X has? I mean, I think this is pretty obtainable. I don't think it's unreasonable. I have pretty good genetics. I would say my strength levels, I'm pretty elite. But I mean, I'm also 50 years old, so me deadlifting 680 pounds. If you're still in your 20s or 30s, I mean, I don't know. I don't think that's on an unreasonable goal to have. My squat's mid 600s. My bench is a little over 400 pounds, which for a 50-year-old, that puts me number one in the world for my weight class. But for a guy in his 20s or 30s, that's national level, world level total. That'll qualify you to compete at all the big amateur meets. Can't even find. Meanwhile, 17-year-old kids taking 600 trend in the neck with. See, Ghost. Here's the thing. I don't know. I don't feel ethical talking about that on YouTube, but it's so easy to find online. I mean, you can. But here's the thing. They don't know what they're putting in their bodies. And I'm saying it's fake stuff. I'm saying it's unregulated. So a good example, trenbolone. One of the most common abused PEDs that you can get. Has no medical value. They determined after testing that there is no medical use for trenbolone. Therefore, no pharmacy makes trenbolone. What does that mean? That means it's all made in some dude's bathtub. You don't know who's making it. That's that saying it doesn't work? No, it works great, but it's also poison. Now, that's the extreme end. There's a million different compounds that you can get prescribed. Anadrol and Anavar were both used for bedridden patients so they don't lose muscle mass. Masterone was prescribed for breast cancer. I think I read in one study where it's Something about the aromatization of estrogen and estradiol, and long story short, like there's medical uses for most of the compounds that men take to get bigger. I don't know what point I was trying to make. Oh yeah, the point was be careful. Like you don't know, like if you're buying on the streets or you're buying online. Plus, there's laws. You know, is it legal? I don't know where you live or what your laws are, but you know, say you order something from Ukraine and it comes in the mail, great. And then you do it again and it gets searched and held at a facility. And now they're writing you a letter saying, hey, come pick your stuff up. Just saying. I think it carries the same penalties as if you're doing hard street drugs. Like if you got a heroin in the mail, I think it's the same legal penalties, even though it's like stupid that would be something that you could get arrested and put in jail for. It is something to consider. Go through a doctor, they prescribe it all. You don't have to worry about any of that shit. If it's illegal, it's on them. They're taking the risk for you. That's kind of what I was alluding to, is a lot of these sports male clinics, you can get things that are questionably legal, in my opinion, but it's on the clinic. If the clinic does something illegal, you're covered. You did nothing wrong. You went to a doctor and a doctor signed off on it, and if they did something wrong, they're going to burn for it. Hey, Mom, is Della with you? Yo, yo. Mr. Hercules. What's up, Mario? What was the name of that skin cream again? For my face. Take your first dose tomorrow. Well, keep us posted. I would like to keep up with your progress, see how you're doing. And that's why I never bothered. I'm cool. Cool, man. Hey, to each their own is what I always say. My max deadlift, what, about a month ago? Maybe not, like 3 weeks ago, I hit 710 on the trap bar for a double. And then my max conventional deadlift is 685. The other day I did 630 and it didn't move that great. I was having just kind of like some days you have it, some days you don't. What's cool is like, for some reason when I'm competing and I get on that platform, everything feels light. Like in the garage, it's super heavy, and you're like, oh shit, I can barely hold on to 640. Then you go to compete, and you can put 50 pounds on that easy. DJ, can you shout out my channel? Well, let's take a look at your channel. Do you have a channel? What's up, Charlie? Playing some games before you go to bed. What are you gaming? My daughter's playing Minecraft right now, and yeah, sleep. He's asking about sleep for recovery. Sleep is where you build your muscles. That's where it happens. When you're sleeping is when your body starts putting everything together. So if you're not getting good sleep, you're just damaging yourself. Well, I do like gaming, but it's got to be specific ones. You don't have a channel. You don't have any content. I'm looking at your page right now. Created playlists. I don't know. What am I shouting out here? The Padres suck. Ciao, ciao. See you, Baff. Ooh, it's hard to find room in here for this. Ah. Oops. Damn. I need a better jump rope. Shit. No problems there, people. Damn. There we go. Ah. Ooh. He used to be good at that. This little exercise we used to do for shoulder mobility. When you swing it, you bring your elbow forward and you try to, like you're trying to punch with your elbow. These aren't very good to this. I need a thicker rope. Yeah. Shit. Damn. You get a better jump rope. You always come up as I'm doom scrolling. Thanks, Charles. God, I suck at jump rope though. Rocket League. Oh, I haven't played that in a long time. Bayonet training. I have a bayonet. I actually have one. I don't think my AR has a lug though. Of course, I got a K-bar. Who doesn't? All right, all right. Blood. I pivot horribly, dude. I'm getting better though, so you guys know my physical limitations, and that's what I've been training to overcome. But had to learn to walk again, so I have an imbalance. Like this leg, I can hold this like nothing, right? Just whatever. This leg, it's hard. It's really hard to hold up. It's really weak. I can barely do it. Now for accelerating, I have no issues there. But like picking them up, putting them into somebody, this is a dead spot right here. So it's hard for me to do switch. So you know the switch kick, you kick, that's your lead, but then you want to switch. That's hard for me. That is super difficult. People are like, oh, you gotta do this different and that different. I need a new back, asshole. Yeah. Blood makes the grass grow, cat. That's a Marine thing. My max deadlift, Lucas. Trap bar, 720. Conventional bar, 680, 685. I got 670 in competition. I didn't get the third attempt. And squats, I went for 700 pounds and I had it. I was coming up and I came out of the groove and I stepped forward, so it didn't count. But I have the strength for it. Can you sit like an Asian? That sounds racist. What are you talking about? Are you talking about just like getting ass to grass and just sitting here like this? You can fall asleep like this. So where I need to get a little more ability is I gotta get my knees over my toes more. But that has more implications for doing Olympic lifting than sitting like an Asian. What am I taking a dump? You do calf training this way. Try these out. You want to really hammer your calves. You can take a baby and to a board. Let's see how wide can we get the Asian sitting before it gets uncomfortable. That feels really good on the hips. Almost there. Almost. But no, yeah, here's the thing though, you're not wrong, Krista. Because it was a lot of work to get to that. So so let me show you. I like to do what's called horseshoe squats. Taekwondo horse stance. I don't know if I did that 100% correctly. For the purpose of squatting, I'm going to hold the weight to keep your back upright. You point your feet out, and we're going to squat deep. For most people, that will cover your mobility. All right. I love horseshoe squats. Thank you, Ian. I shouldn't be this out of breath. I need better cardio. With this powerlifting training, it's hard to serve two masters. You can't be a good powerlifter and a good fighter at the same time. It's not that you can't train both. You can just do one really well and the other one's accessory work. Like powerlifting, my cardio is awful right now. But I can lift a lot of weight. Yeah, Kat's my sister. And then, so here's what I'm going to do after I compete on the 15th. I'm going to just primarily train Muay Thai for a few months. Really get my cardio dialed in, maybe lose 10 pounds. And just get a little lighter on my feet, get a little better lungs, so I can go a couple, more than 3 rounds. Learn the techniques to punch hard. Just tight fist and punch with the forearm. Well, so the way I look at mine is this is a spear. Like you're chucking a spear, bam, boom. Like how are you gonna thrust your spear so like this whole thing is connected? It's like a rod. And then you look at like acceleration. So here's just the arm. Well, what happens if you use your waist? And now we're gonna step into it. So you got beat. Same thing with, this is your, just use your arm, not very hard, use your waist, turn your foot into it to accelerate your body. Look at my body, now I'm accelerating my whole body. But you still got that spear. Boom. So it's all about like trying to use your entire body to accelerate your spear. And once you understand that that's what you're trying to do, then you can become more proficient at it. It's hard to master. It really is. It's easy to get the concept. You can read it and be like, oh, that makes sense. Applying it is a different story. Just want to say hello. I'm in Southern California. Send my respects and thank you for sharing your journey. Thank you, Rogerio Asura. So, like, the one thing I love to do is I got this mirror here. And I wish this back was a little farther off, but I like to shadow box. But I'm boxing myself in the mirror. So I can see myself, I'm using my head, bam, boom, boom, I'll do a few rounds of that. You're just boxing yourself. You see, you got your hand. This is like, see that little hook right there? That's your center line. So if you're punching, your head's right there. So we want to move off the center line. Boom. You can see the center line, that bag right there. Boom. 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 But I'm trying to hit me. Boom. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Slip, slip. When I punch, I naturally come off the center line. So what does that do? Well, if somebody's punching, you just move your head, he's going to miss. Because you can't change the directions of your fist when you throw it. Boom, 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 boom. Find some way, get a mirror. I'm no expert. I've only been doing, I trained boxing with a professional coach for a year. Now I'm doing Muay Thai. I've been doing that for like almost 2 months. I used to do kickboxing. I used to do Taekwondo back in the day. I know a little bit, but I'm no expert. I hit really hard. My coach tells me, he said, you might suck at fighting, but goddamn, you're going to hurt somebody if they let you hit them. Thanks, coach. What's the strategy today? Well, try to just walk into a bunch of punches, and as soon as he gets tired, ham hock him. Oh, so like George Foreman. Yeah. Just hold your hands out. He's going to get tired eventually. Can you take a punch? You sure can. Rogerio, let's see, look, Southern California. Oh yeah, SoCal. The fires, I wasn't aware they're not down like by San Diego or anything. I used to live in Cali, by the way. I lived in Oceanside, obviously Camp Pendleton, Carlsbad, and then San Marcos and Escondido, and that's before I came out to Las Vegas. So I spent 94, 2004. Yeah, about 11 years in Cali. I miss California. I hate California. I hate California. The traffic sucks. You can't go anywhere. It takes you an hour to go anywhere. It could be the next town down. But the beaches, you got all the cool places. You go skiing. You can go up to Big Bear. You got like the Mojave Desert. It's awesome. I mean, California is great. California sucks. It's like California is doing its best to make California suck, but it's still awesome if you can get around the sucky part. Does that make sense? We are all learning together, Asura. You guys throw tough stuff at me, and I mean, some people are kind of crass in the way they suggest things, and sometimes it bothers me a little. But I, believe it or not, everything you guys tell me or suggest, I actually look at. A lot of times I'll be like, "Hey, you're not turning your hips over properly when you're kicking," or I'll look at the video and be like, okay. And then from there, I can make corrections. So I use YouTube as kind of my de facto training partner in a lot of ways. All right, so it is 6:43. I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna take the girls out to dinner. I just do a couple of drills. Like I said, I got those hip and back issues, so one of the things I'm trying to do to overcome that is just repetition. So, get your basic calf kick. You're going to turn your foot, throw the hand, accelerate the waist. So it's going to look like this. And then you turn your hips over. Look at the direction of my foot when I kick the bag. And I'm not super proficient at this. I'm okay at it. 3 parts. It's 1, turn. 2, throw your hips. 3, rotate your foot. 4, snap at the end. all in one nice little pretty whip. And don't forget to breathe. That was a really light one. So what would that look like full speed? Like if I was gonna try to get somebody in a fight. Like real. So when you're doing drills, you know, try to go hard, but not so hard that you lose your balance. Teeps are next. Whew. Make a point, Dave. Sure. What's up, Megan? Oops, enjoy your dinner. I got a couple minutes. My crotch is cluttered. Not sure how that's relevant. It's like, dude, my hair could be on fire, and some of these people will comment like, I don't like your flooring. Like, yeah. So teeps I struggle with, especially when I do the switch, because that's where I had the back problem. So when you're doing the front switch, but then switching back, a little slow. It's hard for me to accelerate. Ooh, that's a good workout. The rectus femoris. How old is your house? I hate stupid questions. I don't know. The fuck does that have to do with anything? So you're talking about pushing off your back foot, right? Now, with a lead teep is you kick straight out and you accelerate your hips into it. So almost like you're trying to hump. I want to put all the force of my body into it. If anything, I might step up on my foot a little more. So what you're talking about is kicking off the back. That's different. That's a switch. Then it's not a lead. When you switch, it's not a lead teep anymore. Oh no, I don't mind, Dave. Here's the thing. Normally when you guys say smart ass comments I usually try to say something smart ass back to you, but I'm winded and I'm like, I don't have anything. Oh. Yeah. I'm from New England, and we asked that question here because houses are really old. This one was in the 80s, I think. You look familiar for some reason, Darren. Hopefully it's a good one. You're talking about, oh, so are you talking about pushing, like, let me see if I understand you right. So, you come up and you throw out. You're talking about pushing like this? Like that? Actually? Okay. To stab the leg in. Did I do that right? Harold? Bounce on your back leg. Because I noticed it wasn't as hard to throw and I got more power out of it. Okay, but I should explain my limitations to you though, because like the back surgery I had, right in here is really weak. So this is where I have the mobility issues. When I'm coming off, this is my weak spot. So you know how the guys hop when they being it's not that I can't do it, it's just difficult for me on this side. But I need to be getting stronger, so damn. I just gotta work on my aim. It feels better. My aim's off a little though. When I'm pushing up on my foot, it's I'm gonna have to practice. So that's awesome. This is something I can work on. So the drills they had us doing most recently was the lead to the switch. See how ugly that was? I have a hard time lifting the leg right up here. And so I kind of have to throw it up, and I'm compensating for that dead spot. It doesn't affect acceleration this way, but it does affect acceleration this way, if that makes sense. Like it's hard for me to come back that way. But I still can do it, it's just weak. Oh, dude, I hit like, I mean, there ain't nothing wrong with my cross. I use the whole body when I swing the entire body. Just look at my foot. Look at that. What? That's the entire body going into that. And from there, when I bring in the uppercut, I'm shifting all that weight back and rotating my waist. Boxing I got down. It's the footwork. I've been doing boxing a long time, but it's the kicking part that's new to me. Well, yeah, I'm training for a powerlifting competition. Like, this is what, did you guys see my did you see my thumbnail? Where you check my thumbnail out. It's got a guy getting kicked in the face and it says old dude training in his garage. And then on the leg it says experts in the comment section. Like I love you guys. Everybody turns into a fucking UFC fight commentator. We got 35 Joe Rogans in the chat. And not one of them have seen any of my content and know any of the training that I normally do. Here's what I'll tell you. Let's see what you fuckers look like when you get to be 50 years old. How much time I got left? 2 minutes. Fuck. Those squats yesterday killed me. Whew. Try working out your weak area. Deep thoughts. It's okay. It's okay. No, I do have a lot of work to do, but that's what we're training for. I was supposed to go to the gym and train tonight, but they implemented a new rule. You're not allowed to spar without knee pads now, because I guess somebody got kneed in the face on accident. So he said that if you don't have knee pads, don't even show up. I haven't bought them yet, so I got to train in my garage tonight. Otherwise, I'd be at the gym learning from a professional trainer instead of you guys. But it doesn't mean we can't get a good workout in. And tomorrow, I have to... Is today Wednesday, babe? Shit. I was supposed to bench press today, but I guess I'm doing that tomorrow. Well, that's okay, because my arm, I have a little tendonitis, so that's actually a good thing. So tomorrow, it looks like I'm bench pressing 330 for triples. And that'll, I want my opening bench to be somewhere around 375. So I can make a 405, 410 pound attempt. I'm pretty close. I think if gun to my head without any leg drive and a good pause, I can hit 365 no problem pretty easily. And I think I could do 370, 375 somewhere in there. That's an opener. So you get 3 attempts. You start with, usually when you're powerlifting, when you're opening attempt, you should open with something you can do like 3 reps. So that way, if you show up and you're sick, maybe you got food poisoning or you didn't sleep or whatever, you know you're going to get the lift and you won't bomb out of the competition. I usually do it a little more aggressively, though. I usually go with something I could bench twice. And that's really paid off over the years for me. It's really risk reward, because I've had a couple competitions where I almost bombed out. But so far, I've managed to PR at least 1 lift every single competition. And I'm going to be competing for national records on the 15th of March. I'm the #1 ranked 50-year-old in the 220 raw weight class in the world, all federations. I am the #1 ranked guy right now. And I want to see if I can put my stamp on that. All right. I always bench without leg drive. Whenever I use leg drive, I feel like I'm cheating. Well, okay, think of it like this, 420. You do want to train that way. But in competition, you want to use any advantage that's legal. Why not? It's the sport. You're participating in a sport, and if it's legal to use leg drive, use it. Train without it, because that way you're training at a disadvantage. That way when you have it in competition, that's that extra 20 pounds or whatever. You know what I mean? That's like training without a belt until it's unsafe to do so. I use 75%. Build that core up. But in competition, wear a belt. What are you doing? You knee sleeves. You know, you want to be a raw lifter. Say you're raw. Cool. Nobody else gives a shit. They're going to put sleeves on. Wear them. Use whatever legal advantage you can get. Now, you see people that game it, like those stupid, really, really, like yoga pose arches that some people have where they have a 2-inch range of motion. We can all agree that that's pretty ridiculous. But it's in the rules, and it's legal. How hard is your right hook? I'll tell you what. I'll give you one last quick round. And then I gotta go because we're hungry. I'm so hungry, I'm making Jack Rabbit slapped a bear. Oh man, I was gonna break out my my double end bag. Forgot about that. This is good cardio. Who could take a baby, nail it to a board, swing it around by its umbilical cord? Oh, the infantry can. The infantry can. Who can take your girlfriend, push her off a cliff, race her to the bottom and fuck her for she's stiff? The infantry can. Alright. Get this out of the way. I should have done this before I put gloves on. Boingy, boingy, boingy. Might crack a rib or two. That's a 160-pound bag, incidentally. I don't know, Darren. I've been in some powerlifting stuff. I don't know if you guys ever I compete at Worlds and Nationals, and they televise those. And that's possible. Maybe you've seen me somewhere. Hey. All right. I gotta go, Calvin. Maybe next time, brother. But it is 7:08, and I said I'll be done by 7. So I'm gonna take my girls to dinner. Thanks for training with me. Tomorrow I'll be doing some heavy lifting. I love you guys. I will see you on the battlefield.